that product is ready, they would go start selling it very quickly out in the market. But what was the problem in this? What is the problem if you follow this model where you want to write a big plan, and you go and you wait until you get money from the investors, and then once you get money from the investors, you start to work on the product, and the product could take you maybe a couple of months or a year or two to develop, and then you go and sell it. What is the problem with that model? So Ahmed is saying competitors. Mahmoud is saying a long chain. So what happens in this long chain, Mahmoud? Jasser is saying, wasn't really sure if the customers are willing to pay or not. That's very good, yeah. Jasser is saying, you need to change every time. What happens if you want to change? I mean, the product took a couple of months to develop, or a year or two, and then you have to change it once you go out to the market. So there's no iteration, etc. I can see you're very smart, guys. You're getting this very fast. So absolutely, what happens in this process is by the time that you're out in the market with a product to sell, you could find out that the market doesn't need that specific product in the way that you thought about it in your business plan and in your thoughts and everything. Maybe the market needed a different variety of the product, but you've already spent a year developing it, and as you developed it, you found out that if you're going to change it so that the customer does what needs to be done, or the customer wants you to do something different on it, it might take you another year to develop. So Ahmed is saying R&D should solve it. Not necessarily, Ahmed, because R&D, research and development, is again done in labs. It's not necessarily done in the business environment out there in the field. So the way that we need to change, and the way that startup needs to change, are to allow for something called a lean startup approach. And this is what we taught you through this business model. It helps you come up with a quick way of starting up your business. And the idea is that you don't do research and development, and like Mahmoud is saying, it takes a lot of time. You don't spend a year working on a business plan, then going and doing research and development, and then going and building something before going out to the market, because by the time you go out with that product to the market, maybe the whole market has changed, especially these days with the pace of change happening so fast. So imagine you were working on a tablet, and the tablet was going to take you a couple of years to develop, and you would go and be working on its own operating system for that tablet because you need it, and you'd be expected that within a couple of years you'd come up with this tablet. By the time you were going to, you're working on developing that tablet, there were so many competitors out there in the market. Google came up with Android operating system, and then by now 70 to 80% of all tablets are running Android. So everything you've invested in the operating system means nothing at the moment, because you were working in this vacuum and weren't able to move fast enough. So the lean startup model allows you to do a lot of experimentation by coming up with a quick prototype for what you have to offer, and then testing it in the market with customers. And as you test it in the market, you gain customer feedback, and this is your most valuable item, this customer feedback, because it allows you to iterate, to change the design over and over again as you move forward. The idea is to go into these quick iterations, and it's called rapid prototyping. So you start off with your business model, like we were been doing so far. You create your business model. Once you create your business model, you start to test it out by asking some would-be prospects. So you go to your target segment and say, well, look, like one of you was talking about focusing or targeting IT companies. So once you create your business model, the next step would be to test it out and to go into some of these IT companies and say, look, I'm working on this product, and what I want to do is to create this value proposition for companies like you. How do you feel about that? Would you be willing to buy? Do you have anything else you'd like to add in it? Etc. So the more you ask about it, the more you get information, and that will help you create a prototype, something that demonstrates what is it that you're trying to do. And this is again a very important tool, and this didn't exist in the past. It was very hard to do rapid prototyping in the past.